welcome to another episode. So when you're thinking of moving to Italy, it can be difficult sometimes to know exactly what location might be best for you. Now, I've spoken before in other videos about how you need to set a form of non-negotiables, the sorts of things that you would like to have around and in the area that you choose to move to. But I think it can help sometimes if you know a little bit more about different parts of Italy. So in today's video, I'm giving you some reasons for moving to Salerno in Italy, currently the city that I live in, and also some reasons not to, because it isn't a city for everybody. So let's get into the video, shall we? So the first reason for moving to Salerno, Italy is, in my opinion, for its location. It is very well supported by different forms of public transport, including a train station with trains that not only cover the immediate area of Salerno, but also go into Naples and as far north as Milan, Rome, and then all the way south as well, down to like Calabria, even to Sicily. You can even get a train to Sicily, to Palermo from Salerno train station. So it's very well supported by a good train network, and also we have a good bus network as well, buses that go into Naples as well as in and around the Salerno area. And then we also have boats that can take you along the Amalfi Coast as well. And in my opinion, I think that to live in a city that is well supported by public transport is an absolute must, because if you don't immediately start driving, you need to be able to independently work your way around and navigate your way around the city and the place that you're living. So this is, in my opinion, a big plus point for moving to Salerno. The second reason I think for moving to Salerno is because it doesn't feel overwhelming. Now, although Salerno is defined as a city, it isn't a big city compared to like its neighbouring city of Naples, for example. And so for this, if you are moving solo especially, it feels less intimidating. It's less overwhelming, it's less intimidating. And within a shorter space of time, you can start to navigate your way around and understand where places are. And I just think it's more comfortable as a city, especially if it's your first expat experience to move to. So this is a really big reason. I think, it depends on the sort of person you are. Perhaps you can move somewhere like Naples or Rome or, Milan and instantly feel comfortable. But I come from London and, London's a big city, but I felt more comfortable moving to Salerno because I felt it was somewhere that I could easily start to feel at home and to build a community around. So for this reason, I think it depends very much on you as a person and what works for you. But if you want to find somewhere that you can, feel comfortable in and start to navigate your way around easily, I think Salerno is a very good choice for this. Now, it's worth noting that Salerno is both a province and a city. Now, as a city, this is what I'm referring to in this video, the city of Salerno, because that's where I'm resident. But as a province, it's a lot larger and covers more remote towns as well. So just worth noting, because obviously the more remote parts of Salerno may not be as ideal for you as the main city itself. And another good reason for moving to Salerno is because of its location near the sea and with its shopping centre as well. So in the main centre of Salerno itself, you have obviously the sea, the Lungomare, which is the walk alongside the sea. You have city parks, and you have a shopping area as well with both chain shops that you can find all across Italy, as well as more independently run businesses as well. So it's a really lovely blend. You've got the historical quarter, you've got the Duomo, you've got lots of little museums and exhibitions that you can go to see throughout the year. There's a Fiesta here too. And then of course, a little bit further out of the centre, you have a big cinema complex, and of course, lots of restaurants in and around the centre of Salerno itself. So what about some reasons not to move to Salerno? Because it isn't a city for everybody. I would say, first of all, if you want a really active, buzzing nightlife, because of course, this is all COVID dependent. At the moment, the nightlife doesn't look anything like it did pre-COVID, but when things do eventually resemble some form of normality, the nightlife here in Salerno is somewhat lacking. You have some bars that stay open, but It's a lot quieter compared to Naples, for example. So I think if an active nightlife is something that you really want, you may find after a couple of months you start to get bored with the nightlife here in Salerno because it's very repetitive and there doesn't seem to be a lot to do in the evenings here once you've been to the same bars and the same events that happen of an evening here in Salerno. So if you want variety, if you would like an active social life at night, Salerno may not be the best city for you. And another reason not to move to Salerno would be if you are dependent on there being a large community of English speakers. Now, there is an active expat group here in Salerno, which I highly recommend. However, it isn't a city that is full of English speaking people compared to say Rome or Milan where English is more widely spoken. So for this reason, if you come to move to Salerno and you really are dependent on finding other English speakers, it's not going to be as easy for you as it would be in another city. So this is another factor for you to consider. Also, I would say as well, when it comes to job opportunities, now there are jobs here in Salerno, don't get me wrong, but the amount of jobs, the variety of jobs that you could find here, I think are smaller compared to larger cities like Naples, Rome, Milan, Palermo in Sicily. Like, you know, compared to larger cities, the amount of jobs that you could find and the diversity of jobs is different. So I think, you know, this is something else for you to consider as well. If you don't mind commuting, if you don't mind traveling outside of Salerno for work, that's a different story altogether. But if you want to find work that's very close to where you live, then of course, you know, the variety and types of work that you want to do might be different compared to other cities. So I hope this video has helped. I just wanted to give you a little summary of some reasons for and against moving to Salerno, because I think it's interesting sometimes to find out somebody's perspective who actually lives in that city to understand if it could be somewhere that could work for you. Lots of other beautiful content on my channel. Please subscribe as always. I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now.